Have you ever had one of those days where everything just feels a little off? Like you've stepped into a parallel universe? Well, last Tuesday, I didn't just feel like I was in another universe. I felt like I was in another decade entirely. And it was all because of my grandma. So, picture this. I wake up, stumble into the kitchen for my morning coffee, and my grandma is already there, humming a tune I vaguely recognize. She's wearing this amazing brightly colored floral dress I'd never seen before, her hair styled in a way that's a little retro. I say, "Morning, Grandma." "Love the dress." She turns to me, her eyes sparkling, and says, "Oh, thank you, dear. I thought I'd wear something special for the premiere tonight." "Premiere?" I'm confused. I check my phone. No movie premieres I know of. I ask her, "What premiere?" She looks at me like I've grown a second head. "Why, The Godfather, of course. It's all anyone at the Bridge Club is talking about. March 14th, 1972. It's going to be a huge night." And that's when it hit me. My grandma, my sweet, wonderful grandma, had woken up this morning genuinely believing it was March 14th, 1972. My first reaction was a mix of shock and, I'll admit, a little bit of amusement. I mean, who wouldn't be thrown for a loop? But then, a wave of concern washed over me. Was this a sign of something serious? Was she okay? I tried to gently correct her. "Grandma," I said softly, "it's 2025, not 1972. She just laughed a light tinkling laugh. "Oh, you jokester, always pulling my leg. Now, be a dear and see if the morning paper has arrived. I want to read the reviews." I knew arguing wasn't going to work. Pushing back would only confuse and upset her. So, I decided to do something a little unconventional. I decided to lean into it. For one day, I was going to live in 1972 with my grandma. This wasn't just about humoring her. It was about connecting with her in her world, on her terms. It was a chance to see the world through her eyes, even if those eyes were seeing a world from 52 years ago. So, I went along with it. The morning paper? I pulled up a digital archive of the newspaper from that exact date on my tablet. I write her the headlines. Nixon was on his way to China. The Apollo 16 mission was gearing up for launch. And yes, there was a huge article buzzing about the premiere of The Godfather. Her face lit up. It was like watching a memory come to life right in front of me. She'd start telling me stories sparked by the articles, stories from her life back then. About my grandpa, who was still with her, about their first house, about the political climate and how different everything felt. It was a history lesson, but so much more personal and vibrant than any textbook. Our 1972 day continued. She wanted to listen to the radio, so I found a playlist of top hits from that year. We listened to Don McLean's American Pie, Neil Young's Heart of Gold, and Al Green's Let's Stay Together. She started dancing around the kitchen, pulling me in to join her. I saw a side of my grandma I'd never seen before, not just the sweet old lady who makes amazing cookies, but the young, vibrant woman she once was, full of life and rhythm. She told me about going to dances, about the fashion, the bell-bottoms and platform shoes. It was like she was time traveling and she was taking me with her. For lunch, she insisted on making a dish she said was all the rage back then, a tuna noodle casserole with a crushed potato chip topping. I'll be honest, it's not something I would ever choose to eat, but for her, it was a taste of home, a taste of 1972, and as we ate, she talked. She talked about her dreams from that time, her worries, her hopes for her children, my mom. It was deeply personal, and I just listened, completely captivated. I realized I was learning more about my grandma and my own family history in those few hours than I had in years. The most surreal part of the day was when she wanted to make a phone call. She went to pick up her old rotary phone, which we keep as a decoration. She seemed puzzled when there was no dial tone. I gently handed her my smartphone. She stared at it, completely baffled. "What is this space-age contraption?" she asked. I explained it was a phone. So, I helped her call her best friend, who sadly passed away years ago. I pretended to dial, held the phone to her ear, and just let her talk. She had a full 5-minute conversation, catching up, laughing, sharing secrets. It was heartbreaking and beautiful all at once. In that moment, in her mind, her friend was still there, just a phone call away. As the day went on, I saw how this single peculiar day was acting as a key, unlocking a part of her mind that had been dormant. It wasn't just about confusion. It was about memory, deep, vivid, emotional memory. For those who care for loved ones with dementia or memory loss, you'll know these moments of lucidity and connection are incredibly precious. It's not about correcting them back to our reality, but about joining them in theirs, finding the joy and the person that's still there, beneath the fog. Later in the afternoon, she started getting ready for the premiere. She put on her fanciest coat and asked me if her makeup looked okay. She was so excited, so full of anticipation. I knew I couldn't take her to a movie theater. So I improvised. I dimmed the lights in the living room, pulled up The Godfather on our big screen TV, and told her we had the best seats in the house for a private screening. I made popcorn the old-fashioned way on the stove, just how she likes it. We sat there on the couch, side by side, and watched the opening scenes. About 20 minutes into the movie, she turned to me. The frantic energy of 1972 seemed to have faded from her eyes. She looked at me, really looked at me, and then at the TV. She said, "You know, I saw this with your grandpa when it first came out. He loved it so much." And just like that, she was back. She was back in 2025. She didn't remember thinking it was 1972 all day. To her, it was just a normal Tuesday where we decided to watch an old movie. I didn't press her. I didn't ask if she remembered the morning. I just smiled and said, "I know, Grandma." He had great taste. We finished the movie, and the rest of the evening was quiet and normal. But for me, nothing felt normal. I had spent a day in the past. I had danced with my grandma in her youth. I had shared a meal from her prime, and I had witnessed her reconnect with a lost friend. That day taught me a powerful lesson about empathy, patience, and the beautiful, fragile nature of memory. It showed me that sometimes the best way to care for someone is not to pull them into your world, but to bravely step into theirs. It was a gift. A strange, unexpected, wonderful gift. I got to spend a day with my grandma, the 28-year-old version, and it's a day I will treasure forever. Living in 1972 for a day was confusing and challenging, but it was also one of the most profound and love-filled days of my life. If you have a loved one dealing with memory loss, remember that the person you love is still there. Be patient, be kind, and find those moments of connection, wherever and whenever they may be. Thanks so much for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, please give this video a like and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.